All right, here we are for another installment of our DGP. This is week 15. Whatever day today is, don't forget the day, the comma, the month and date. That would be for today, February the 12th, comma, 2016. Our sentence comes from Jack London. The dogs had quarrels among themselves, but these were forgotten when trouble was brewing with White Fang. So we have our parts of speech that we are here looking for to label. So let's start out. I always like to start with the articles because I think that they are easy, recognizable, get you something to start with. So the first article, and there's only one, is the dogs, the in front of dogs. So that's taken care of. Nouns, in this case, there are some really easy ones and there are some troubling ones. So dogs is a noun. You may even have one at home. That is a noun. So we have one. I go right here to proper nouns. Proper nouns are names. So we have White Fang as the name of our dog. We have action verbs, prepositions, and then we get into some of the things over here. They get a little bit more difficult. Some people may feel pretty comfortable with the coordinating conjunction. Coordinating conjunction is but, tying two things together. We have this independent clause and this independent clause. So the dogs had quarrels among themselves. I'm going to start with those prepositions because I really like prepositions. Among is a preposition. That's going to start our prepositional phrase, among themselves. And with is a preposition starting this prepositional phrase right there. So you have that taken care of. Action verbs, you can forget. So this is an action verb. And brew, just like coffee, even though this is trouble is brewing. Oh, look, that's probably a noun. Because if I said coffee was brewing, it wouldn't be a problem. But if we have trouble, that makes it a little trickier. So trouble is a noun. Now we're down to two nouns that we've already gotten, which I guess means we have one left. Dogs had quarrels. Had, in this case, is going to be your action verb. It's showing ownership. They had, if it said dogs had bones, nobody would have a problem with bones. But quarrels, again, makes it a difficult noun. It's abstract. But now we have all of our nouns taken care of. And we have action verb in had, action verb in forgotten, and action verb in brewing. So now we have all of our action verbs. Which leads us, let's go here to our helping verbs. We're looking for words that work with our action verbs. So was brewing, this is going to be your verb phrase. So this is a helping verb. And then were forgotten, this is another verb phrase. So you have your helping verbs there. We've talked about demonstrative pronouns. The word is demonstrate. This, that, these, and those. There is your demonstrative pronoun in these. So I'm going to take that off. Now we are left with the word themselves. That's going to be key right there. And when. When is your subordinating conjunction. It's the same as if. And anytime you have themselves, himself, herself, anything with the self here, it's going to be reflexive pronoun. So there you have your parts of speech. Day. We'll move on to the next thing. And here we have the parts of the sentence. So here, parts of sentence. Don't forget, whatever's today, comma, month and date, comma, and the year is 2016. We're looking for three subjects, one verb that's transitive, one that's intransitive, two, I know it says one, but it's really two adverb prepositional phrases, an object of the preposition, make that two objects of the preposition, and a direct object. One thing that really helps me is to kind of highlight this sentence into three different parts. So the dogs had quarrels among themselves is one part. These were forgotten is your next part. And then your final part, trouble was brewing with White Fang. And there you have the three clauses. Two of them are independent and one of them is dependent. So I'll leave subjects for later because I struggle with subjects. So let's look at our verbs. Look at yesterday. If it was a verb yesterday, it's going to be a verb today. So that means I've got a verb, and a verb. So I've got my three verbs. I have to determine which ones are transitive and which ones are intransitive. Transitive means you are having a direct object. Dogs had what? This is your transitive verb. They had quarrels. That makes that their direct object. And that leaves only the other two intransitive verbs, forgotten and brewing, are both intransitive because we do not have direct objects. Yesterday, which for you was just a minute ago, we labeled, our prepositional phrases. They will remain our prepositional phrases today. So always use yesterday's work to help you with today's work. So those are both adverb prepositional phrases here. And I'll label this one as our adverb prepositional phrase. And every prepositional phrase has, not a direct object, we already have that one. Objects of the preposition, and it's always the noun or pronoun at the end. So this is our object of the preposition. We have a proper noun and a pronoun. So now we have all our objects of the preposition, and the only thing we're left with is that tricky subject. So I work backwards. That's why I do verbs first. So who had? Oh, the dogs had. Who forgot? Or what forgot? These were forgotten. And what was brewing? Trouble was brewing. There you have the next days. Finally this week, we have our diagram. Again, highlighting helps me to see. And we have the dogs had quarrels among themselves. These were forgotten. And trouble was brewing with White Fang. And hopefully this highlighting will help you see where things go. This is our subject. Dogs. The dogs. Make sure this is capitalized. Dogs had. What did they have? Quarrels. Where did they have them? Among themselves. This is your coordinating conjunction. In this case, it's but. These is your subject. Were forgotten. That's your verb phrase. Your subordinating conjunction is when, tying two clauses together. In this case, it's an independent clause, and this bottom is a dependent clause. It cannot stand up by itself. Again, your subject, trouble. Your verb phrase was brewing. And then your prepositional phrase, with White Fang. And there you have your DGP, week 15.